Cheers. Hey, what's going on? Just got back from the bar with Pete and Dom, Dom's beautiful wife, a couple other people. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Got a couple texts, got a couple messages. I understand. We're on the floor, but I want to tell you all how Baltimore's going. So I'm going to do like a recap of last night's stuff. What day is it today? Friday, going to Saturday, right? So last night would be Friday. I know everybody's making fun of me because I was tired. I also wear contacts, and this light right here is extremely bright. The lighting's not good here. Please forgive me for the lighting. I didn't wake up and steal somebody's bedroom or whatever other comments are going on. It just is not the best area, but I figured we'd fill you in kind of how it went. So like yesterday was a good day. These cons are tough because Baltimore now is back at the end of the year, which is really cool. I love it at the end of the year because you get to socialize a lot. We've all been working the circuit for a while, and everybody now at this point, now that's after New York, we've made our money for the year. We need to know what the rest is. And it's kind of, for the most part, as long as the market's been down, and even talking to a lot of my friends, like the market might have been a little bit down towards the back half of the year, the last quarter of the year, not the last quarter, the full, this quarter right now. Yeah. Financially, but like maybe a little bit more than that. We've all done very well this year. And like, we're into bonus time. Like, I know there's a couple vendors that were like, look, dude, I don't want to sell all my slabs. I don't care. I'm just going to bulk sell at the end, which is nice. It's good to see that Baltimore is getting back to a point where it's the last big quote unquote con of the year. I mean, I hope it stays that way. Like everybody, there's a lot of people coming in and we're like, hey, dude, you know, Baltimore, wow, man, I look terrible in this, but that's all right. But they were like, hey, look, you know, Baltimore used to be this good con. What happened? What's all the buying at? And I was like, well, years ago, it used to be, it's kind of like slowed down, but that's just because they put it before New York, right? So like all the dealers were like, well, I'm going to New York. You have to get into New York on Wednesday. After Sunday, it's like a 2-day trip. And, you know, one day over, you stay the next day. So, but this year it hasn't been. And there's some people that had some good stuff. I'll show you what I got on Thursday, the day before. Now, I will say this for all the people that are out there that know my cousin Jen and my man Steve Horn. They were on the floor with me, and they would do this thing right here, especially Jen. Jen actually was very bad about it. She would say, hey, I'm going to do this box here. And then she's like, I left you some stuff. And then she'd jump over me and do the next box and go, oh, I left you some stuff in here. But we did pretty good out there. This was like $5 box stuff. Pretty decent stuff. I did this. I always love this robot House of Secrets. So it's kind of more like a pickup thing. And I'll talk a little bit more about how Baltimore's been going. Then this is in the $5 too, right? So this is kind of interesting. And I actually got it a little bit out of order. But so the Dark Horse Mask one, number one, but I actually got 0 through 3, 2 or 3. This book, actually, I was very surprised that I got for $5. There was a whole X-Men and Uncanny run, early stuff. Jen got to those 2 boxes, even though I told her. So if you see Jen harass her, because I said, look, find X-Men for me. She dipped down to X-Men really quickly and dug out like some real good stuff for $5. So make sure you're watching them do it. These are the continuations of those Dark Horse Maxes. This a little bit Black Panther. Black Panther for $5. I don't think you can beat this. Last one in the Black Panther, or last one in the mask run. Steroid mask, very good. They got some Man Thing stuff. You know, you gotta love the Man Thing, right? Once again, this is like $5 stuff. Black Panther, number 1. I think it's a good buy. This is the Colossus origin story. This is what Jen left me, just to let you know. So make sure you give her a hard time about that. Little Kitty Pryde on the cover. Little this here, little that there. Steve Horn has got an exclusive. Got a little exclusive from Steve Horn. So there was a detective run. I don't have the rest of them here. I'm just kind of grabbing books that are close to me. I don't know how I'm giving back. I might actually just give these books away because I flew, but whatever. Got this in the dollar bins. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Okay. This I overpaid for. but like because it's part of the lot, didn't really matter. Shogun 1. This is kind of cool. Another little $5 book that I pulled out of this lot. By the way, for those people who are members, we're going to have a little side story for you people. If you're members, if you pay $1 or whatever, a little side story. I will tell you where some of these collections were. I'll give you a little inside story going on. I'm sorry, it is a very long tape. Giant size man things for all you people. Okay. So that was pretty much it for that. I have stuff, but I also forgot it at people's booths because, as I've told you before, hey, what's going on? Yeah, late night. As I told you before, like sometimes you go out and people give you books and they're like, hey, pay me later and stuff. So I will be picking the rest of those up later. It was a slow day at Baltimore today. A couple things happened. Unfortunately, there's some people had a little trouble. Somebody's mom like hurt herself for a booth, and there's other booths that had to be taken over and stuff like that. So and drinking's going pretty heavily on the floor, but it was slow. I'll be honest with you. Baltimore was very slow for a Friday. People still made their money. A lot of dealer to dealer transactions. I helped a couple dealers out. I bought a couple things. Got to meet a lot of good people. I like this, dude. By the way, do me one favor. If you are at Baltimore, please just remember that I can't always see you. So like, if you like, don't text people and tell me you're hanging out, but like, tell me who you are. Like I know the internet is a thing, right? I get it. I'm not that important, but like, oh, that chair works. Okay, cool. So, but like, say hi. You know, it's okay. Don't whisper behind me, especially. 4 shoes today, by the way. This is the other thing. For all those people that are complaining today at Baltimore, I have told you the tip on shoe wear. We were in 4 shoes, 2 different pairs of socks, and I was wearing 2 different compression pants today. Do the same thing. There is, if you are in Baltimore, if you go to Bill, Roger, and Earl stuff on the floor, there's still some good stuff there. Third Eye was having a very good variant sale, $5 variant sale. I know Pete's going to show you some stuff out of there. Very good stuff that they got out of there. I know a lot of people were like today, hey, why didn't you go to the dinner for Diamond? Because I showed all the Diamond stuff yesterday. The thing with the Diamond dinner was while you were at the Diamond dinner, I was getting those books for $5. So you got to choose what you're going to do. All in all, it's good. I got to meet up with a lot of old friends from the old G Plus days. So that's good. A lot of good vendor guys. Once again, I just want to put a little quick video because everybody's asking how it's going. It's a very fun time. It really is. More social than anything else, which is fine. You know, but it's good. Like it's also a place. Oh, when Drew gave us some books, Drew Ron Comics there. I had breakfast with Tony and Trish. Great people as usual. They were really good. Me and Tony walked back, had a little conversation. By the way, watch for his new stuff coming out. I think him and Trish are going to do something really good. Who else? Either way, so it's a great show. It's still open pretty wide. I will say they were a little bit more efficient with letting people in this year than they have in past years. There's always a problem with letting people into Baltimore. And Nathan does a great job with it. The problem is sometimes that his people don't let people in, especially for the early bird, and then they end up 30 or 40 minutes late. This time it seemed like the clock was ticking a little faster. It could be, now, with all due respect, it could be that we closed the bar at 3 last night, and then me and Pete closed the bar at 2. What time is it? Yeah, I just got back like 10 minutes ago, so 2:15 tonight. So maybe that's why it seems a little bit different, but it seemed like they're more efficient. It really did seem like they were more efficient this year. Frank Miller was everywhere. Obviously, he was. We're going to do that exclusive video too, because I don't think we're going to tell Frank Miller stories tonight. But also shut up. I will give you one advice. Do not go to Morton Steak's house, because we had, every year I put on a little dinner. We had Morton's this year, and it took 4 hours, and they killed 3 of our steaks. So we had to reorder. But everything else is going good. I would also say make sure you say hi to the short box event was all right. The Reese's are doing okay. It seemed a little light. It did. I will say this about Baltimore, and I've heard it out of people too, that like it's not what it used to be. And that's true. I think if they keep doing this, maybe not on Halloween weekend, but if they keep doing this like around this time, it'll be back to what it was, right? It'll be back to our damn this lights. It'll be back to the it'll be back to the end of the year stuff. Wait a second, why am I still up? Because and that's the story for another night. I'm still up because just got back to the hotel. Got a little bit of sleep. Got a little sleep this morning. But yeah, so real quickly, Baltimore is starting to get back to where it was. If you are not here on Thursday, it's still a little rough. Like if you get in on Friday to start buying, it's not as great as it was. I mean, I think our biggest conversation for a lot of us who've been here since like 2014 and going every year was like, there's a lot of us from the old G Plus days talking about, oh, do you remember? Like, we don't exactly remember the years, but like, hey, who was that vendor who had the spinner racks that had all the Teen Titan 13s? And it was with the thing where they messed up the A and B covers, and the year before somebody had all the foil stuff. And we don't quite remember what years it was. But when we talk about those years, and I think we've gotten out of pocket with those, I think those were like 2015 and 2016, which is what, like 6 years ago, right? Hey, what's going on, Funhouse? Good to see you, man. So, like, when people get here, I think they get a little disappointed because they hear all these people talking about stories, and some of the people hadn't been here. I mean, they really hadn't, but like, Baltimore was the best buying con back there, and like, um, you know, a lot of people, I talk about Sean and what me and Sean used to do back in the day, but like when they had CGC grading, like CGC now is taking submissions. But one thing too, like we have friends and they're like, hey, we're going to be in the submission lines. Like, do they need help? No. Remember, when you're doing your submission lines, just a little tip for you people that want to do CGC submissions, do know that they put a big rubber band around your stuff, right? So like make sure that your first book and your last book are the books that you care the least amount. If you're trying to grade them for either top grade, if you're a collector, or if you're trying to grade them for value, make sure the top book and the bottom book are not. They muted my mic. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you. So, real quickly, like, do know if you're submitting the first book and the last book, they put this big rubber band around, right? So, like, it does not matter if you stack face to face. It does not matter if you stack back to back. They will always do that. So make sure those books, the top book and the bottom book, is the ones that if you get rejected are going to get rejected. Since they don't do on site anymore, we do a lot of pre-screen, and we expect those two books to get rejected either way, and they do. I'm telling you, 96% of the time, those two books get rejected every single time we're pre-screening. So just a little tip: don't listen to it. Do listen to it. I don't care, but I want to give you that. Yeah, my mic went out. I know. Like I said, this is not the best. Thank you, Wayseeker. I do appreciate it, guys. What else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say on this. So that was good. They have the grading there, but it's not like on-site. I hope they do bring on-site. People asked about that too. They're like, are they going to bring on-site? So I talked to a couple people. This is what the rumor, the Dom rumor on this one is this. They have hired a lot of people at CGC. They need to keep them employed. Signature Series is slowing down at this point. Their collection rate is slowing down at this point. If the collection rate gets to a point where they need to make more money, they'll start doing on-site. So hopefully by next year, we start to at least see them do on-site on C2E2 and what's the LA SDCC, maybe New York. So if we get those three back, then maybe we start get the regional ones back again. So that's the story on CGC. Also, too, so this is something I didn't know people didn't know, but one of my friends is like, hey, dude, I got a rejection for selling an eBay thing on a case. They said the case was wonky. And it's in 2016, CGC had a lighter case, right? So like it's a little bit more flexible. That was after the warp case. And he took it to CGC, and they're like, no, this is a perfect case. You would have to pay for a re-case up. Do know that if you get that case, the 2016, so for those that don't know, at one point CGC had a case and the books would warp inside the case. They'd start waving out, right? So like they had a new case, but it was a thin case because they thought thin was the way to go. And it feels like you can bend the case and get in, but you actually cannot get into the case. Some people apparently on eBay are trying to send that back or ask for discounts. Do not give them the discount. Hey, thank you. Hi, Nathan. Do not give them the discount on that. Make sure that you tell them and then write eBay. You will get a refund and they cannot file a claim on you for that. And those fucking people are stupid. No offense. Or they just don't look it up. Go to CGC boards. They're a great place to go. It was very... I wish we could have got out of Morton's better because we were supposed to go to some short box thing. We ran into the Hive Boys. By the way, look for some content soon. I'm not telling you anything, but look for some content soon coming out on Renovision. I think we're going to have a lot more people coming over here, doing some stuff. People that are better than me, I guess. And we're going to try to get back in. We're going to try to give you more stuff. I've been trying to talk to Pete. He's got some footage, but you know, Pete, he's a perfectionist. I don't know if anybody, I know we only got very few viewers because it is late here on the East Coast, but if you guys have any questions, feel free. I'll give you guys like 2 more minutes. You can ask them. But yeah, for all those people that were texting or DMing me, it has been a very good con. You know, it's been very fun. This con is, if you get a chance, there's 2 cons I would suggest that from the Midwest over there, there's 2 cons I would suggest that are always a very good social event. Dayton, that's run by Bill and Roger out there in Ohio. That is like they barbecue outside of the con. It is an extremely fun con to go to. And actually, because they run the con there, you can get some good deals in the books early on. And then this con out in Baltimore, as long as they keep running it at the end of the year. That was one of the biggest things that I think. What's going on, David? I know, because I thought it was a taped one, and then like it said live. So I just yeah, it's live. Blame this on Pete. So real quickly, this con, although people are complaining about it, the flavor's getting back there. If they do this for, I would assume 2 more years, it's going to be it again, right? Like this is going to be the con we had years ago. So it's really cool. No, yeah, I did. You know, I mean, I do, Wayseeker. I like a con in Ohio. There's lots of good cons out there anyways, but it is funny. I even had a couple conversations with a couple different artists and a couple different like writers, and just trying to explain to them how the con scene actually works, right? Like it's a very interesting like situation, right? And we're not gonna get rants here tonight or whatever, but like it's a very interesting like ecosystem how cons typically work. I don't think some people understand as writers and creators how we need like them to be at cons and maybe give them a little bit more to come and what their true value is compared to what the promoters are willing to pay for it, and trying to explain like drop shipping and all the like technical aspects of that, and which is unfortunate. I think unfortunately, I think we could get better artists and better writers that write quality stuff and do good books. I think we could have them at more cons and better accessible to all the people. And then what happens is either the publisher starts signing them up and doesn't sign up the artist, but will sign up the writer, whatever they do. This camera angle is terrible. Yes, this bed's supposed to be a king and it's fucking tiny, but it's Baltimore and we're looking well, didn't get shot. Okay, so, but yeah, I think that's a little bit of an issue. I've had a lot of conversations with creators, not content creators, but actually creators that create good stuff like comic books. And like knowing their self-worth, I think is something that we really have to know. Like the surprise that vendors will line up on Thursday. See, this is the thing. I don't even think these artists, like they really don't, especially the newer ones. I don't think they realize be there on Thursday. you're going to make $1,000 on Thursday or on when whatever the day is before the con opens, Friday. You're going to make $1,000 just there because vendors are going to come in and take care of it, and then show up like 10, 20 minutes early, an hour early even. And yeah, it sucks you have to set the table, but you're going to make the majority of your money there. Because now the vendors and everybody else, even these kids, I've never seen so many kids, so many people, sorry, I shouldn't call them kids, so many people with vendor passes that aren't vendors. You know what I mean? Like aren't even close to being vendors. This stage, and I'm not knocking them, dude. Like, let's be real. Do I help out with vendors at the show? Sure. But am I a vendor? No. Do I have a vendor pass? Of course. But like the amount of people that are now getting vendor passes is a little crazy. And most of those people are just trying to get into the front of the line, which is fine. But I think the artists and the creators have to learn that and take that into accommodation. And I think that might help them out a little bit more too, because I do know like when Suzumoka's telling me you're selling a book for $210 on your wall. Yes, could you sign it too? And they paid me $60 for that art. Like, no offense, and I'm just using her as an example, not that this actually happened, but it did. But yeah, you should show up to the con on a Thursday because the vendors will all line up for you, and you should charge those vendors more than you're actually going to charge the fans that are coming in there later on. So, just I know it sounds kind of brutal or whatever, but like they'll pay it and they'll set the market on it. So do that. I mean, because how some of these people are treated, like you would not believe uh, how many artists, people that you think are popular, people that you want to see at these cons, have to pay their own way. And why it is because the publisher is like promoting one person but not promoting the other. It's tomfoolery. I don't know what my secret says here. I do not have the mouse. I think I lost it. I do like kind of how cool. So that's what we have for tonight. We'll do another video tomorrow. I understand there's a picture of me without a hat on at Morton Steakhouse. Good. That's good. It was a very long dinner. It was good to see everybody. It really was. It was good to see a lot of people. For those of you that are still at this con, for those of you people that were there that didn't introduce yourself, please do. And then for the rest of you, hopefully maybe one year you all can come down. It's worth a trip. It starts, well, maybe it's not. It's not yet, right? Baltimore is getting to be worth a trip again. It's not quite there. It is for me, but like for the average person, it probably isn't. But it will be. Like if this continues, it'll be worth a trip. There were some decently sized big books. There's a lot of pre-code horror. I might go shoot some of the wall before on that. One of our friends has a huge pre-code horror wall that's very impressive. They must have sold already like 100 books off that pre-code horror wall. There's Lauren's there, Bill's there, everybody's there. So there's a lot of good books out there that I would say so the Reese boys, they were there, but their area is 1/3 of what it used to be, which is kind of disappointing. Third Eye, which is local. They had a $5 variant, $2 variant thing, which was pretty lucrative to a lot of people that felt like digging through that. There was a group next to them that had like, what was the deal? It was like buy a variant for $5, buy 10 variants for 20. I don't know, some math. It's too late to do math and too many drinks to do math. But that happened. I did hear a lot of complaining from the Whatnot people that like Whatnot's not doing good here. But like all the Whatnot people were here trying to buy books, not even on Thursday, but on Friday. So like, yeah, of course you sell books to each other. Of course your Whatnot shows aren't doing well. But that's just my opinion on the Whatnot. Not much to go on there. That's all I have. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Wow, that's 24 minutes that I wanted to spend on this one. Give us a like, give us a sub. Hopefully, we have new content. We'll have some more stuff. Hopefully, the boys. Dom's in town. Pete obviously is in town. Legs, legs. Sean Leggett is over here. We've been hanging out the last couple nights. My boy Sleepy's in here, and it seems like things are getting back to normal. And it really, I gotta say, like, Jen's here. Uh, Drew, it's good to see a lot of friends. The boys from Hives are here. It's really good to see a lot of friends, and um, yeah, I'm really glad I showed up. I gotta tell you that. Like, Baltimore now has got that feeling of like what con should be. Like, all this stuff that we do. I can't believe they allow dogs in this hotel. Everything that we should do at cons, like the stuff that makes it fun. I was walking with Tony Fleece this morning, and he's like, "It doesn't seem like you enjoy finding books at cons anymore." And I'm like, "It's not that. It's not that I don't enjoy finding books. I just enjoy other people finding books at cons, right? Like, it's the point of it's the point of watching kids open Christmas presents, right? I know that sounds like shit. I know it sounds conceited, but it really is. Like, seeing your friends find something and the enjoyment they get out of it is like, and that's what this con's turning back into. And I got to tell you that I'm having an extremely fun time here. And it has been a couple of years since I have not had a good time at this con. And to see people finally finding stuff again and finally having a lot of good books come back to the market and actually fairly priced, to be honest with you. Like, it's not a bad price that stuff's going on here. Yeah, some stuff's overpriced. Like, I get that. But like, if you dig enough, you're going to find good stuff. And that's kind of the fun, like watching people and talking to people and them asking. I know a lot of people ask me what I bought today. I didn't buy much on Friday. I'm not going to buy much on Saturday. I'm probably not going to buy anything on Sunday. Uh, but to have friends buying stuff and finding stuff is really enjoyable. So that's all I have. There's apparently a lot of people here too. I don't know them all, but there's apparently a lot of people here too. So uh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll try to get you some more content. I hope you enjoyed a little bit. I saw the post on IG. What's the post on IG? How was the steak? The steak was terrible. Okay. You want to talk about the steak. So for those that don't know, every year I try to put together a dinner on the incoming night on Thursday. Thursday turned into a little bit of a train wreck, and everybody wasn't coming in. Flights were delayed. So I did my dinner on Friday night. It turned into like 22 people. So I decided to instead say, because the place I normally do it is pretty affordable. Instead, I said, well, if we're going to have so many people, maybe like everybody takes care of their own tab. And let's go to Morton Steak's house. Not to besmudge the steakhouse, but I was like, let's go to Morton Steakhouse. And then I think it turned into like 12 people, 9 people, something like that. So we had a decent sized group. A lot of old time G Plus members. Who was there? Oh yes. A lot of. So we had TJ, we had John. They've come to my dinners for like 7 or 8 years now. Some of my oldest and closest comic book friends. We had Leggett, Sean Leggett, popularly known as Legs from Unpressable Defects, also a good friend of mine. He came to the dinner. Joe, a couple other people. Pete was there. Sorry, I'm trying to remember who was at the dinner. Oh, my good friend Steve Horn was at the dinner. Thank God. It was past his bedtime, but he still mustered up to hang out with us at that time. The problem with it was, like, everybody who ordered the filet mignon, we all ordered our steaks either rare or medium rare. All the filet mignons came out properly cooked. If you ordered the ribeye, however, they weighted the steak. For those people that know anything about restaurants, for those that don't, it means they put weight on, like, usually it's a pan or something. They put it on top of the steak to cook it faster, so it came out like shoe leather. Which for $70 steaks, like, at one point you have to just say, like, it ain't working. So I had mine with truffle butter, and I had a Delmonico, and it was overcooked, and nobody wanted to complain. And then finally, after the second bite, I said, I just can't. So um, I said, excuse, hey, it's a little overcooked. And the young man that was serving us was like, yes, that is not what medium rare looks like. He told a joke, which I will not tell because it's not appropriate, uh, probably for YouTube. But um, and then luckily a couple other guys spoke up and said, yeah, that's happened to our steak too. And then we had another friend come in a little bit later, and he ordered the same steak, and they screwed that steak up too. So they recooked them. They were phenomenal when they recooked them. It was great. But the service took like 4 hours and a half. I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed in the service. But everybody that was there, I think they kept saying like, "Hey, I'm sorry." I was like, I'm not upset about it. I was just upset because I didn't think they were having such a good time. But everybody got to talk about comics, and we got to talk about the old days and everything else. So like they had a great time, and that's like I said, that's like kind of the theme. I guess the theme of Baltimore Comic Con is like if you're having a good time, then it's good. And I think we've gotten back to that. Like I think we have truly gotten back to having a good time out here. And it can be stressful. Like let's be honest, the market for a lot of us has fallen over the last what is it now? October? So like 4.5, 5 months. Like you guys know it. You guys watch their market reports. You know what we're selling stuff for. Like it has. We people are repricing books on the floor at this point. And now I'm not talking about taking like $20 off. I'm talking about taking $100 off of books. Thousand, no, maybe not quite 1,000. A very impressive thing I saw though. Steve Horn came in with a box, and he's like, "You might want to watch this." And I'm like, "Ah, what do I want to watch?" And he went over to Heritage, and all of a sudden he's like, "Look," he's like, "You sure you don't want to film this?" I'm like, "No, no, no, I don't want to film all." And he opens it up, and he's got the Ultimate Fallout 4 variant. It's in a 9.8, and they're submitting it over there, and a couple other books that are really cool. So check that out. They'll probably have the auction going up for those soon. It's a very impressive haul. I mean, like he's walking in $30,000 books and no problem at all, and dropping them off. They were very professional too over there. A couple other things. I talked to them. Actually, our famous troll BK, I have to thank because I was talking to Heritage a lot about anime and kind of that type of market and what the market truly looks like in the auction realm. We will get you out some information on that stuff too, because I think it's interesting. It's probably boring. It really is probably boring, but we'll try to make it interesting. But I think this year, once again, just to finish up, oh yeah, David, real quickly, I appreciate that. If you guys are ever in Detroit, there's a place called London Chop House, does a veal chop. It's disgustingly good too. It's a veal chop tomahawk, and it's good. But yeah, no, the food here is like you're lucky if you don't get diarrhea, to be honest with you. The first night we ate someplace, it's supposed to be an Italian restaurant. They served me a veal that was supposed to have like a Marsala sauce on it, and instead it was like wet veal with gravy. It was disgusting. Unfortunately, the breakfast we had with Tony, Trish, and Jen, and all them, and Anthony was there too from the Bird City. For those people that know that place, Bird City out in Arizona, um, it was all right, but they did like rough grits. Like they don't serve like real grits. Like I don't know who the fuck eats grits like this, but like that's not grits. Like you're trying to be special. Like get the fuck out of here. Give me some grits. Throw a little shrimp on it, and give me some Tabasco for fuck's sake. Like let's go. Butter, Tabasco, a couple shrimp, 3, 4 prawns. I don't want like this shit either. I want like prawns, and let's go. So, but they didn't. But it's all right. I ate it anyways, and the egg sandwich had a lot of grease on it. But the prices are pretty expensive for the food too, for the quality. I know a lot of people got sick last night from eating at different places. Some of my favorite restaurants out here, unfortunately, they didn't make it through the pandemic, which is tough. That's kind of disappointing, but overall, once again, I was trying to get into it, and I'm reading some of the comics. Uh, hey, Keith, I want to say hi to you too. Good. I'm glad you're there. Hi. Enjoy your weekend. I am. That's the one thing I'm gonna say. Like, I think I was kind of worn out. I wasn't gonna. I honestly was not gonna come to Baltimore this year. I really got to thank, Pete, and I got to thank TJ, and I got to thank Sleepy, because like those guys were telling me to go, and then Sleepy and TJ, I think, reached out to my wife and was like, "Dude, you got to get him out there." Like, because it was like the circuit. I kind of got back into the circuit a lot, between work life and the circuit, like real work. It was draining this year. The market had switched so much, and I was kind of exhausted. A lot of stuff happened. Unfortunately, one of my uncles passed away today, but like all that stuff was happening, and it was just real draining. But like this show, kind of made me love. Tony Fleece asked me why I do this today when we were walking back to the con floor. He's like, "It doesn't seem like you enjoy finding big books anymore. It doesn't seem like you enjoy this and the people and whatever." And I said, "No, it isn't. But like, I do enjoy. I enjoy this. Like, I enjoy Baltimore. I enjoy the end of the year. Everybody doing really good. People happy. Vendors drinking on the floor. Like, is uh, I mean, we're closing down bars. Like they know us year after year. We're coming in, and they're like, 'Yo, you guys are here again. Like, you guys are stupid.' And yes, we're stupid. Um, but it's fun, and seeing a bunch of dudes who like." None of us are cool, but like this is where we are, right? Oh, yeah, this is where we're cool. So it's really cool, man. Like, it's fun. It's fun to see everybody. It's fun to put a couple back with everybody. I will tell you this: some of you clowns, y'all start drinking on Thursday. They didn't close the bar. I'll tell you who closed the bar today. Drew Wan Comics, the Reese Boys, but that was because there was a mugging going outside. TJ, I think you probably know the Hive Boys. I think we're supposed to be doing a live stream or something tonight. Um, but very few people, right? Like, so there's very few people closing out tonight. A lot of them now will be chirping tomorrow because they'll be like, "Yo, we were up and we were up late." No, y'all aren't up late. Y'all aren't doing live streams this late, but it's good. I still love y'all anyways. I love everybody. I will tell you this, uh, for a couple people out there, I have told you, make sure you change your shoes and make sure you change your socks. I'm on 3 pairs. That's why, like, people make fun of me for the first class thing, but you get 2 bags checked. One bag that I have checked is all shoes. It's just all shoes. And like, for all you people asking me how my feet are good because I changed my shoes and socks. Like that floor on Baltimore, the Baltimore floor, Detroit's floor is bad. Motor City floor is bad. Great Lakes floor is okay. Dayton's okay. Indianapolis floor is 50-50. Uh, Baltimore is probably one of the worst floors. First off, the city walkway, you can't take cabs or taxis anywhere because it takes forever. But like, they have brick that they still live in there. It's all uneven. There's rats everywhere. Like, it's the worst walkway. So you have to have good walking shoes off the bat. If you wear old man shoes and you buy them in cases like me, Drew from Wood Comics, like those type of people, you know, um, then you don't have to complain about Dr. Schultz. Yes, I'm talking to you. Don't text me about Dr. Schultz and I didn't tell you. I have done a video years ago about how many shoes and proper shoe wear. You should be at least 3 to 4 shoes at all times. John Google. Maybe my feet did hurt. Yeah. No, John, the Motor City's bad. But Matt, this is Baltimore's worse than Motor City. Imagine if you're walking on broken concrete. That's what Baltimore is about. Like, it is really a bad one. But I think also too, it's not the con floor isn't as bad. The problem is getting to it is like they have like mismatching bricks. You have to walk. There's no direct access. And oh, by the fucking way, I will say this one downside. They make us go through the front. I don't think I've ever been through the front door of Baltimore Comic Con before. This year, even if you come the back way, they reroute you to the front way. And the first day on Thursday, you could go the back way, but then they shut it off after that. So like, I don't know. How long did the oh, Keith? So so my hotel is just across the street around the corner. How long did the restroom last this year? I will say this is the difference between Motor City and Baltimore. I didn't. I'll check out tomorrow. I'll check it out tomorrow for you. I'll give you. I can't speak truth to fact. I would be lying and just creating bullshit content at this point if I tried to tell you I knew what the bathrooms were situation was there. Um, I think I drank so much last night that even the food I ate didn't even settle, and I hadn't had enough water in me. I did get the Pedialyte. God bless my wife. She sent groceries to the room before I even got here, but so I had been drinking Pedialyte and everything, but I had to rehydrate. So I don't even think I took a piss till probably one. And I think I hit the floor. I did breakfast with Tony, Trish, Jen, and Anthony. 9. I walked the wrong way, but I got there an hour and a half before the show opened. It's a weird actually. So the one cool thing too about Baltimore is like there's a 7:30 vendor opening, and then 12:30 is VIP, and I think 1 o'clock is general admission, which is nice. Like to give us that amount of time to be on the floor and stuff. It really does help. I think it helps everybody. I think it helps as much as people complain, like, oh, I can't believe the vendors got to other vendor stuff first. Like people hold shit back so that the regular general pop gets stuff, but like it was cool because I think the lines for artists and artists and writers was very short because gave you gave vendors like 3 hours uh, for those artists that decided to show up earlier on time. There was a cool thing Jim Lee was doing something like he would name random crazy shit and then like he was sketching stuff out and then going like, if you have a dog that barks on the con floor, you get my sketch. And then if you have a Baltimore, what the weirdest Baltimore, I think it came down to like the weirdest Baltimore Oriole, whatever. It was a keychain or some shit like that, but like you couldn't have a hat or a shirt that just had the logo on it. It was the weirdest artifact that has a Baltimore Oriole logo on it. And I think it was like a dog collar or a keychain. I can't remember what it was. That was pretty cool. It was kind of cool what Lee did there. Who else? There's somebody else that was doing crazy sketches. Sterling now officially doesn't. No, he still had like 3 handwritten signs. One's like, absolutely do not give me credit cards. I will not take it. Cash only, something to that effect. But he got rid of the like other stuff. Parrot was there. I'll tell you this, man. Fuck it, I'm drunk. Parent. It took all the energy I had because my friend had commissioned him to do a couple private pieces. They were homages to pre-code horror books. And for those people that don't know, this is the guy who does like Archies and shit like that. And my friend's a huge Archie fan. Oh god, I probably shouldn't tell this one, but fuck it. And he had homaged like a couple books, and he was going to do. It was almost going to be like books that. So he had pre-code horror books that he was homaging, and he was going to do them in the Archie realm. And all of a sudden, he owns the OE on this. Somebody who likes to do what are those fucking things called, store exclusives or whatever the fuck these things are, looked through Parent's book and saw the artwork and said, yeah, that's what I want my book to look like. And they commissioned it to be a exclusive. And it's like, that's kind of fucked. It's like you used an example of somebody's OE for them to look through your art book. You sold the OE and you charged somebody for the OE. And Dan Parent then allowed somebody to do exclusive off of that original art, which I think is kind of bullshit. So, I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on it. Maybe I'm out of pocket on that, but I think if you pay for original art for somebody, and luckily my friend had found out after he commissioned the second piece, because he's been commissioned 8 pieces, and has stopped commissioning pieces from him. But like, I don't care who you are, what you do. Like, if you're an artist and you sell your OE and somebody commissioned your OE, probably allowing a store exclusive or an online store exclusive of that OE is not cool, man. I just think that's kind of shitty. I do understand artist stuff. You have to make money when you can, but you do know that you did that. And I'm not kind of blaming the store, but I think I'm 90% sure the store knows that was somebody else's art, because they looked through the art book and they knew that that's what somebody else commissioned. And then they decided, like, instead of making their own shit, to do that. So, hey, good night, David. But yeah, so that's it. Now we're 46 minutes in. We will give you another recap tomorrow. That's all I got. Hopefully you guys have a good night. For those of you out in Baltimore, please do at least say hi to Dom and Pete. They thoroughly enjoy it. Hopefully nobody gets diarrhea, but you never know. It's Baltimore. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you for everybody that was live tonight. I really do appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully it's good. I think Pete's texting me right now saying, "Why are you on the internet?" So I'm gonna let y'all go. By the way, the other video it has nothing to do. It has one to do that I didn't have my contacts in, so I couldn't see. Number 2, the lighting here is dog shit. So yeah, it wasn't like I was falling asleep. I was tired, but and the internet connection sucks. So if you see a little bit of gapping between my mouth and the sound, that's what that is too. I appreciate everybody out here. It is very nice seeing everybody out here. Continue to see everybody. I will be leaving Sunday early in, so I will not be around Sunday. I know some people are coming in Sunday. Sorry that I missed you on Sunday. I will not be going to the con at Sunday. I'll be saying goodbye tomorrow to everybody and then flying out Sunday midday. So have a good one. We will still make sure you're tuning in. SNS is tomorrow night. I'm not saying there's going to be a surprise, but there might be a surprise if I remember what time their show is. Make sure you're tuning into SNS, Saturday Night Special. Make sure, hey, Brian, I'm actually going to call you as soon as I get off here. Brian, I'm going to call you as soon as I get off here. We'll continue our conversation. But yeah, so make sure you turn to SNS tomorrow. Hopefully I will be able to get Pete, maybe Dom, and everybody else on there to give you a little bit of recap and maybe show you a couple more books, what's going on out here. And that's it. I can't remember what I'm going to say because now I have to call somebody. I'll talk to you all later. Have a good evening. Hopefully I'll see you in Baltimore.